here's your conservative, but not bitter host, Todd Huff.
Well, did you see that the state of Georgia, yes, the state of Georgia is now mandating new sets of rules with this upcoming election, which has already started early voting in the state of Georgia. They have mandated that folks have that these precincts start early voting by tomorrow, December 30th. So I guess that simply means that the folks that are there to determine how many votes are going to need to be flipped this time will know in advance. Kidding, not kidding. I don't know. Who knows what's going on out there, folks? Welcome to the program. I am your host, Todd Huff. Email todd@toddhuffshow.com. You can connect with us on Facebook as long as our friends at Facebook allow that to be the case. Facebook.com/Todd Huff Show, YouTube, Twitter, and Parler. Todd Huff Show is the social media handle for all of those platforms. I want to start today by talking about something that we've heard rumblings about or discussions about for some time, and I want to specifically talk about a piece that was written by the Neon Revolt. I think I saw this posted. It was either on Sidney Powell's Twitter feed, maybe it was Lynn Wood's Twitter feed. I'm not sure which one. I think it was Lynn Wood's. But I want to go through this and talk about this today. The process by which the President of the United States is selected, and of course now all this attention is being placed on two places, really. One is the state legislatures, and I want to get to that as well, but I think I want to start with Vice President Pence. So state legislatures have the authority in most of these states. That's the second place, of these state legislatures, that the attention is now being focused. State legislatures have the authority to call special sessions to investigate and then determine if they are going to basically decertify their official slate of electors and then recertify ones that they believe are correct. And that could be anything. That could be, they could have the investigation, the hearings, and they could say, you know what, there's not enough evidence. Biden is our winner. He won the state of Georgia, Michigan, whatever. Let's have that. Let's send the Biden electors. Or they could say, President Trump clearly won this because there was so much fraud and corruption in this election that this is how we're going to remedy this. We're going to send Trump electors because the numbers are there to show that this is fraudulent and that this was stolen from Trump in the state of Michigan or whatever the state is. Or they could say, we don't really know what happened here. Maybe we send, if a state has an even number of electors, like Michigan and Georgia have 16, maybe they could send 8 of each. I mean, any number of things could happen at this point. But that can be constitutionally reclaimed by state legislatures. Now, that creates a bit of a problem. There's some difficulty in getting these special sessions called, but I want to share with you some information about that a little bit later in the program. I want to start first off here today with this piece in the Neon Revolt, and I want to use it kind of as a springboard to talk about this. This Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence's involvement in determining which electors to count. Right, so we have 7 states. 7 states have sent multiple electors. We'll be sending multiple electors to Trump. You don't get to send 2 sets and get both sets counted. So there's an argument here that Pence is going to have to. Pence is the president of the Senate, right? There's 100 senators. Pence can serve currently through January 20th, noon on January 20th. He can serve as the tie-breaking vote in the Senate. Every time I say this, I'm reminded of the criticism that Sarah Palin received back in 2008, because she said one of the rules of the vice president was to be president of the Senate, and she got hammered over this. Are you kidding me? She doesn't even know what's going on. Of course, that's one of the roles of the vice president, is to preside over the Senate, and in case of a tie, to cast a tie-breaking vote. But in this particular instance, the job of the vice president, or the president of the Senate, which is synonymous, the job of the vice president is to open all, this is according to the Constitution, folks, is to open all of the states' electors, right? You remember a couple of weeks ago, December 14th, states all around the country were voting. Their electors were voting. They did that in their home states. And so that was just kind of a one step in the process. Those votes were then sent to, there's a process by which these are sent to the federal government. They're held, and then they're opened on January 6th by the vice president in the presence of a joint session of Congress that includes every member of the House of Representatives, every senator, well, everyone that doesn't have COVID, which there's a whole nother potential situation with COVID that I want to, time permitting, we'll get to. But anyway, so joint session at Congress, Vice President Pence performing his role, his duties as president of the Senate, will open up the votes, and he'll count them in the presence of all those sitting there. Now, the question is, what do you do with the states that have sent multiple slates of electors in? And those states would be Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, or Trump says Nevada, and New Mexico. So 7 states have done this. So some folks say, look, Vice President Pence, who's the president of the Senate on that, well, he is all the time, but he's performing duties as president of the Senate. He has the ability to determine which electors to count. And so you may have heard rumblings about this, arguments about this. So let me read this piece here. VP's Rendezvous with Destiny, written by the Neon Revolt. I'll be up front right now. The author writes, I haven't known how to write about anything in long form for a very long time now. This season has been the hardest span of time in recent memory. I know I'm not alone in that sentiment, but it's been exceedingly difficult for me to make heads or tails of anything substantial for a while now, beyond following the minutia and day-to-day happenings on Gab. It's a social media app. The 40,000-foot view has been nearly impossible to discern through the fog of war, and with so much silence from those we depend on, it's often felt like we've been flying blind for some time now. I want to chime in here on this because I've shared with some folks close to me of all the time, and I've been doing this program since August 10th of 2015. Started as a podcast, which, by the way, this program is still available as a podcast. And if you haven't subscribed, you ought to look into subscribing, because then you can listen to this program whenever you want. You can listen to it while you're working out, while you are, when the weather's better, working in the garden, mowing the grass, whatever. But I started August 10th, 2015, actually 2 floors above me now. I'm in the basement studio at the bunker at the Huff household. But 2 floors above me, we have the bedroom. My wife has a closet in the bedroom. That's where we started. In fact, I still remember, I was telling someone this the other day, her clothes from the closet, because we used it at the time to produce better sound quality. It dampened the sound and just made a better environment. It absorbed some of the echo and so forth. But I remember the clothes being inches from my face as I was practicing podcasting in that closet. 5.5 years ago now. Gee whiz, time flies. But anyway, since that day, I don't remember a time when it's been so challenging to weed through all of the stuff that's before us. I mean, we have sensory overload, information overload, and on top of that, We have an information war that's going on. We have people who deliberately wake up each and every day that call themselves journalists who are nothing more than professional deceivers. They want to deceive you into believing that what you think, what you suspect is not true. In fact, it's crazy talk, right? They want you to think that what you see is something you really don't see. They want you to think that these allegations, I should say, these allegations that there was voter fraud is craziness, that you probably need to be locked up in some institution to help you overcome your tendency to following and believing things that are absolutely insane. These folks are professional deceivers, and the vast, vast majority of folks who are in the media fall into that category. There are a couple of journalists left, but there are not many. And by a couple, that's not really hyperbole. On top of the professional deceivers, we also have a group of professional sophists, professional pretenders. And those are the folks that we supposedly have elected in positions of our government. At all levels, we have pretenders. They're there to do a job. The Constitution, whether the federal Constitution or our respective states' constitutions, the constitutions point out what these folks are supposed to be doing. But instead, they've taken this and made this into something altogether different. In fact, this is their retirement plan. This is their pathway to accumulating power. This is their, roadmap for personal enrichment. This is what we're dealing with. And again, there are some folks that are still out there that are good, but again, an overwhelming number of people, in my estimation, fall into this category. Now, fortunately, you tuned in to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. It just is what it is, right? I'm not ready to throw in the towel on America. It's not going to ruin my day. We have to face reality and then try to do something about it. That's why we do this program, to persuade, to educate, heck, to entertain a little bit, folks. We try to move the needle towards, to point the compass back, use the compass to point us back collectively towards the Constitution, towards those founding principles. And so that's where we are today. So I say all that to say, when you put all those factors together, and when the radical left sees the finish line, right? They are 2 Senate seats away from crossing the finish line where they believe they have the presidency, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. And then Katie bar the door, all bets are off what they're going to do. I mean, everything is on the table. I mean, after, of course, Biden cures cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes, which he's going to do any day now if he's sworn into president. I'm really looking forward to that day when he decides to cure those things. And I guess this is where we fall down and fall down on our faces and just praise him for doing these things. But anyway, this is the scenario that we have. And so I point that out, as the author said here. There's never been a more challenging time to sift through all this stuff. And I guess I would say to you, I appreciate your willingness to walk down this path with me. These are things I followed my whole life. I studied political science at Butler. In fact, I got my Butler sweatshirt on today. Butler University sweatshirt, Christmas gift. Thanks, Mom, for that. But, we have, these are things that I've studied, I've followed, you followed. We know a lot about this. But at the same time, this does feel it's tough to stay on top of. I'll be candid. I found myself spending more time doing show prep, more time digging, thinking about stuff, trying to determine what I even talk about on here than usual, simply because there's so many things going on here, so many things vying for our attention. So I want to continue going through this article, Neon Revolt. I'll have Pedals post this a little bit later today on Facebook as well. But this is something, again, we're going to go through this. This eventually gets into Pence, his responsibility, what's Pence going to do, what's the Constitution say, that sort of stuff. But we'll get to that in due course here as we make our way through the program today. So quick timeout is in order. Sit tight. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I am your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
I want to get one more season out of my furnace or air conditioner. Have you or someone you know ever made that statement? Economy heating, air conditioning, and plumbing has heard it a lot. Did you know that furnaces and air conditioners are most likely to break down when they're under stress? That means during the hottest and coldest months of the year, like those months quickly approaching us. With winter on the horizon, now is the time to replace that old rickety unit. With 0% financing for up to 72 months and up to $600 in instant rebates, now is the time to buy. Doing great work is Economy's priority, and the satisfaction of their customers is their number one goal, guaranteed. Make your home comfortable this winter. Contact Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today by calling 317-831-5279 or visit them at economyheatingandair.com.
Hi, this is Kenton with Christian Community Connect. We're a network of business professionals that are committed to living out our faith in the marketplace by preferring one another in love while serving everyone. With online listings at $27 per month, if you're a Christian in business, committed to treating others as you would want to be treated, we would love to include you. Check our reviews and sign up at ChristianCommunityConnect.com.
Do you have 10 years of construction experience? Reformation LLC specializes in residential construction and is looking for a mentor and team leader to fill a general superintendent position. Our company was founded to provide training and mentoring to individuals coming out of substance abuse addiction. We believe your past doesn't dictate your future. If you have experience, we have a place for you at Reformation. We have a passion for seeing lives and homes transformed. Contact us today at reformationllc.com or 317-643-1952.
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the kids have flown the nest and you find yourself wondering what to do with all of that extra space. This is Bruce of Bruce Richardson Realty. My team and I understand that life changes, and so do your home needs. So whether you're downsizing or upsizing, give us a call at 317-507-3285. Let us help you find the best fit for your residential or your commercial property needs. 317-507-3285.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Welcome back. So, going through this piece written at neonrevolt.com. Again, we'll post it a little bit later today on our Facebook page for those that want to read this themselves. But going through this, I want to pick up where we left off last segment. Needless to say, it's been very easy to get caught up in the mental maelstrom of this past year. The ever-present temptation to overdose on black pills, which have magically made themselves both abundant and free over the past few months, is ever-present. And it's no exaggeration that this dark winter has worn itself very bitter and heavy around the neck of the nation, attempting to grind down what little resolve it seems to have left at this moment in time until we all just capitulate and accept the next 100 years of progressive regimes trampling over our lives, our friends, our families, our communities, and churches before blending us up and extruding us out into some semi-human golem bound to forever serve the will spoken over our lives by our would-be masters. Yikes! That is a heavy paragraph to read to you this morning. But he's getting to a point here, so bear with us. Slaves, all of us, living as little more than slaves, exploited for generations to come. Then the ellipses, ... 2020, another ellipses, has been a thief. All of us have been robbed in some capacity by this year, and we have prepare ourselves to bid this awful year farewell. The unspoken fear among many of us, the one thing no one wants to say for fear of actually damning us all to such a terrible fate, is that nothing will change for the better in 2021. Rather that things will only continue to get worse, and that we will need to accept this new life, whatever it is, in this reduced and anemic capacity. January 20th will come and go. Will arrive as the deliberately chosen narrative goes, and the entire Trump administration will be escorted out of the office in shame, probably in handcuffs, kicking and screaming. He doesn't write that, but that's the narrative of the media, not to be remembered as little more than an aberrant detour in the march of history. Meanwhile, cackling leftists will gleam with pride as they invent new ways to actively punish anyone who dared stand in the way of their agenda, finally embarking upon the revenge fantasies they've let fester in the depths of their hearts since their crushing and humiliating defeat in 2016, seeking to impose suffering upon those who've deemed enemies of progress. They've deemed enemies of progress, in the hopes of finally killing off any of the lingering vestiges of the valiant spirit that previously conquered them, determined to leave those who still possess it in some measure in such a weakened and pathetic state that they can never rise up to mount a serious offense against them ever again. Again, he's painting the picture of what the narrative is, and what the Democrats, what the radical left are kind of rubbing their hands in glee about. This is what I mean when I say they see the finish line. They see the finish line. Folks, this article is going to take a turn for the better here. Just hang on. He's painting the picture. Before I do that, I want to mention, have you seen, I just saw this morning, some actor, here it is, Arrested Development star, David Cross. I'm looking at the Daily Wire here. Actor David Cross, this is the headline, responds to Biden's call for unity. F that, he says. I want blood. This is the tolerant left, folks. I'm not going to read any more about this. He tweeted it out on Saturday. In fact, Biden tweeted out, after a year of pain and loss, it's time to unite, heal, and rebuild. To that, David Cross retweets and adds his own caption here that says, F that, I want blood. That's what he says. Vengeance is what they want. They want you to pay. They want you to suffer. You've supported Trump. You believe in the Constitution. They're not going to have any of that. You're going to toe the line. You're going to do what it is that they want you to do. And if you don't, there are going to be consequences, ramifications. You're going to suffer loss. You should suffer tremendous loss because of the pain you have helped inflict upon the American people by the election of Donald J. Trump and his maniacal reign as dictator. This is the narrative, right? This is what they think. This is how they be. I don't know if it's what they think. It's what they feel. It's what they want you to believe that they think is legitimate. Of course, it's not. It's a walk into the crazy mind of the radical left. But anyway, I wanted to point that out as we got to this particular part of the article as well. So let's go back to this, as I pulled the wrong article here. Here we go. Okay. So that's the picture the Neon Revolt paints, and this is what they write next. This is an important point, and I think it needs to be absorbed and taken in. This is a very, very good point. Again, reading from the Neon Revolt. And yet, he writes, or they write, she writes, one phrase keeps ringing in my ears like a klaxon. And this is the phrase: if their victory was assured, their propaganda wouldn't be necessary. I've actually thought about this. I may have mentioned this a time or two on here. Maybe I haven't. But I've thought, not those words, but I thought something similar to this. I went back in time in my memory, back to 2016, and there was obviously not this degree of a call for, people believing that this was a fraudulent election. People did believe it was, in the sense that Russia tricked people into voting for Trump over Hillary, right? This was the narrative. Russia's Facebook ads tricked people. Boom. People thought, I'm going to vote for Hillary. They walked into the voting booth before they got in the booth, they were en route probably playing Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go ad pops up that says, vote for Trump. And they were hypnotized by this ad because the Russians created it. And they went into that booth not having any control over their mind or the actions that were taken by their hands or whatever part of their body actually pressed the button. They couldn't control it. And they pushed the button for Trump, or they checked the box for Trump against their will because Russia tricked them. That was the narrative back then. That was the evidence. That's what we had. And we had years of investigations and, Senate and House hearings and all this nonsense, right, for years. And then we had the impeachment, which was really Russia 2.0, as far as I'm concerned. It was with Ukraine this time, but it's the same. It was based upon the picture, or the foundations that were laid by the Russian collusion narrative. Here's Trump doing it again, this time with the leader of Ukraine. He's trying to collude and steal another election. So let's stop this guy. Let's impeach him. This cannot be allowed to stand. Nancy Pelosi stood up there and told us how heartbroken she was to actually have to impeach the president of the United States. She told us she was praying for the president, this whole thing. So that's what they did. The House impeached, the Senate. Now, keep in mind, the pandemic had already started spreading around the world, but they were too busy playing these political games. But that's what happened in 16. My whole point is to say, when you compare and contrast, when someone said to me, Trump really isn't the president, Russia stole the election. You know what I said about this, because I just said a version of it right now. I would kind of mock it. I wouldn't sit there and say, call him your president. You call him your president? Call him your president-elect. How dare you? How dare you? You're a treasonist. You need to be. Did you see this as well? What is it? Somebody, Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz. Oh, boy. I have to dig to find this. They're calling for Matt Gaetz's, because he's standing up for Trump. Someone in Florida is calling to disbar him as an attorney because of this. They want to cause punishment, to the point of this article, right, to what's been written here in the Neon Revolt. But did you go around, when someone said to you in 2016 Trump didn't win, Russia stole it, did you say, you need to be tried for treason, you need to be thrown in prison, you need to be disbarred if you're an attorney, you need to face, I want blood? Did you go around doing that? I don't know of anyone that did that. First of all, it'd be ridiculous and insane to do that. Second of all, it's just, it's not probably the conservatives I know, in particular the conservative Christians, it's not in our nature. That's not how we think or act and behave and so forth. Maybe it's in our in the flesh, but as you know, as believers, it's not something that God leads us by His Spirit to do and to act and behave. That's not how we do it. We don't sit there and say, "Call him president-elect. You better do it." And if you don't, you're a treasonist. And if you don't, I'm going to demand that your credentials be stripped from you, whatever they are. If you're a PhD like Dr. Jill Biden, we're going to strip the PhD credentials. If you are an attorney like Matt Gaetz, we're going to disbar you. If you are whoever you are, there's going to be consequences. We want blood, right? This is what they say. This is how they behave. This is not normal. And to the point here in this article, if their victory was assured, their propaganda wouldn't be necessary. Or, the writer says, perhaps for the Game of Thrones fan in the Trump White House, any man who must say, "I am king," is no true king. It reminds me really quickly. I used to run a nonprofit. I was an executive director, and I remember having a conversation with somebody. There was some stuff happening internally, and there was some fighting over who the leader was. And I remember telling someone, this has been 15 years ago, probably, something like this. I said, if you have to tell someone you're the leader, you're not. Same sort of thing here. If you have to demand so much, call him vice president or call him president-elect. Call Kamala Harris vice president-elect. If you don't, you're colluding with the Russians. Again, you've fallen for their games and their tactics, and you're actually undermining the Constitution. You're basically someone who's engaging in sedition and treason. This is what this has come to, folks. And they're serious about this. Meanwhile, you and I are saying, wait a second. All we're saying is something fishy went on in this election, something potentially criminal, something potentially fraudulent, something potentially corrupt. It looks that way from the outside. We've got thousands of people who've signed affidavits saying all sorts of nefarious things happened. We're called treasonous, truly treasonous for this. You're not allowed to question the outcome of the election, even though if you have evidence to do so. You know how bizarre and backward this way of thinking is? This is not normal. This is not logical. This is not coherent. But it's what we get when we engage with the radical left. I'm telling you, this is how they, quote unquote, think. It's not how they think, it's how they feel. They hate the Trump supporter. They hate Trump. They hate what he stood for. They love their government. Government, to the radical left, make no mistake about this, is their God. Etch this in stone. Write it down. Recite it in the morning. To the radical left, government is their God. And they don't want anything to do with anyone who tries to dismantle that, to return it to its form of limited government. They don't want that. They want more and bigger. They want more grandiose promises. That's why they applaud when Biden says he's going to cure cancer and diabetes and Alzheimer's. And let's throw in COVID while we're at it, right? They love this stuff. Yeah, Trump's trying to kill people. Biden's trying to save people. It is so juvenile and infantile, really, but this is what we're up against. Anyway, quick timeout is in order. Come back, continue talking about this. I think this article actually stimulates a lot of things, a lot of thoughts, and points out some good things as well, which we'll get to here in just a moment. You're listening to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. And yes, you're listening to a broadcast that is coming to you live from the office of the potential future president-elect. Of course, no political ambitions here, just pointing out the absurdity of Biden demanding that you call his office the office of the president-elect. Anyway, back here in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Have you seen the price of custom cabinetry and countertops lately? If you're looking for quality, affordable remodels, call Carriage House Woodworking. Our helpful professionals will walk you through every step of the process. We're offering a free sync base with qualifying purchases. Just enter CHWEINC.com/Todd or call 317-406-3042. Call Carriage House Woodworking. You won't have to spend your kids' inheritance just to upgrade your kitchen.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Why would you call a company called Commercial Service for your home heating, cooling, and plumbing? Same question I had, because they have provided over 70 years of quality service and Trane products for both homes and businesses in Central Indiana. It's hard to stop Commercial Service, and it's hard to stop a Trane. Give them a call. I'm glad I did.
Call Commercial Service at 812-339-9114 or online at commercialservice.com. Commercial Service, commercial-grade service for your home.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in Central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Welcome back, picking back up where we left off. I'm way off on the time clock today, and that's my fault. Oz, I think she threw up her hands in despair over here earlier because I wouldn't stop. But anyway, picking up here, Neon Revolt. If their victory, they talking about the Democrats here, if their victory was assured, also you could throw the media in, the professional deceivers, the professional pretenders in the world today. Pretenders being the politicians, the deceivers being the media. Of course, these terms can also be interchangeable in some sense. But if their victory was assured, their propaganda wouldn't be necessary. Or perhaps for the Game of Thrones fan in the Trump White House, any man who must say, "I am the king," is no true king. And yet we see the proclamations every day, often coming directly from the mouth of the bumbling, senile, impotent, treasonous, corrupt beyond compare pedocrat who dares peddle the fiction of the non-existent office of the president-elect, not only to our own citizenry, but to the entire world. So he writes, I'm not going to be able to read all this, but basically folks are telling Trump to concede. In fact, I just saw yesterday, was it the New York Post? I think it was the New York Post editorial board basically now urging Trump to concede. He writes here, accept the lie and you can concede for us, not oppose us. Continues to write here at the Neon Revolt, every day I see more of my brethren fall into despair. It's easy to fight when you're well-fed, well-armed, and have overwhelming numbers and resources. It's far harder to fight when you're being demonized on multiple fronts, when the money's run out, and you feel you haven't the strength to go on. That's what 2020 has been about. Our enemies plotted to steal and rob and destroy everything in order to bring us and our children to our knees, to control our future, to demand we bow down before their throne, forgetting that the Spirit lost my place here. Forgetting that the spirit of Thermopylae still animates some of us, those of us who will never back down no matter the cost. So he writes here, he's saying, look, this is what we're up against, right? This is the scenario. You have the left, you have the disheartened conservative Republican, you have the left basically gleefully taunting. They're taunting us, which entertains me, but they're taunting us, mocking us. But he says, look, and this is, I think, what a lot of people are saying now as well, something similar here. There is another opportunity for something to be done about this, right? We've seen the courts have ignored this largely. They've not even heard the case and the evidence, more or less. It's a pretty fair summation. The state legislatures either are being prevented from meeting because they don't have 2/3. Some of these folks have to, I can't go into all of it, but some of the states in question have to have 2/3 supermajorities to call a special session. One of the states, Michigan, the governor has to call it. So there's some details there that need to be at least acknowledged. So it's left up to the process. I mean, I suppose the state there's some process or some headway being made there in the state legislatures, but this is going to come down to Vice President Pence, who is the president of the Senate. And so that's where this article leads us. What's the vice president going to do? And I want to paint that picture, go through that when we get back. So sit tight. We'll be back and continue that conversation here in just a minute.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at zuluscape.com.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
Did you know that there are 21,000 chimney fires annually? It's one of the reasons why it's so important to have a CSIA certified chimney technician clean and inspect your chimney every year. Keep your family safe by joining our 3-year sweep and inspection plan. And mention Todd to be entered to win $1,000 in cash. Contact Smalling Masonry, a Christian-owned business, at 317-903-8121 to learn more today.
We all know having health insurance doesn't always equal health care. That's why at Freedom HealthWorks, we believe the key to maintaining good health is based on a straightforward, personal relationship with your physician. With our direct doctor-patient relationship model, we remove your healthcare middleman and replace him with transparent pricing and incentive to call your doctor at the first sign of illness. So if you're ready to experience real care from a doctor that really cares about you, go to freedomhealthworks.com and learn more about the benefits of our direct primary care model. Freedom HealthWorks. Be treated better.
Again, I've been walking through this article in the Neon Revolt today and talking about just this perspective that's and the sentiments that are shared by a lot of folks. I think and again, I'll have Pedals will post this on Facebook or wherever else on social media later today. But basically, their author here is setting all this up to say, Vice President Pence, you're in a unique position. According to the Constitution, of course, this is the argument. There's some disagreement about this. But the argument is the Vice President of the Senate is the sole determiner of which votes count. And so, he's appealing in a sense to Vice President Pence in the latter half of this. And a lot of folks are doing this. You have the authority here. Why would you count electors that have been questionably assigned or determined or whatever the case may be? That's clearly the case, folks. Now, that you can say this without even saying that President Trump won, that Biden stole the election. But some of these states, you look at how close certain states like Georgia, like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania to an extent too. Michigan's a larger deficit. Arizona. When you look at that and when you look at the evidence just of what we've seen presented, which is there's an overwhelming amount. In fact, maybe that's something else I should share. There's some sites out there that really have done a lot of work in kind of pulling this evidence together and presenting it. But Vice President Pence is in a position, and he, at the Neon Revolt, says this: I want you to understand, writing to the Vice President, you come from a line of giant slayers, referencing Mike Pence's faith, Mr. Vice President, and it's not by virtue of any superior quality which you may or may not possess inside yourself. It's by virtue of the call in your life and the one, capital O, backing you. For the past 4 years, President Trump has been the most powerful man on earth. On that, for one day on January 6th, you, Vice President Pence, will be the most powerful man on earth. So what's going to happen? Is Vice President Pence going to go with what was certified? Is Vice President Pence going to look at this and say, I'm not going to determine which set of electors to count and not count, from some states either set? Will he count the Trump electors? Is this going to be an issue or not? I don't know. I mean, at this point, we keep hearing that just wait for this, wait for that. I understand the frustration and the uncertainty, but this is where we stand. The vice president, at least according to many, or at least some, I think many, he has the authority to do this. We'll see what happens here. That date is January 6th, and I've got to take a break. Sit tight. Back here to wrap up in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter. To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Hunting, fishing, bows, guns, ammo, safes, and more. The Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood has all the gear you need for your outdoor experience. We have a huge selection of brands that other shops don't carry, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to answer all your outdoor adventure questions. At Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood, you can even hone your archery skills at our indoor shooting range. Find us online at outdoorsmansportshop.com. So get outdoors, but bring the right gear.
Corin Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corin Homes, family-owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
Need to refresh or renovate your commercial space? Call Interior Construction Services today. Providing the highest level of quality construction at a competitive price, our service-minded team is here to deliver the detail-oriented environment you're looking to create on time and on budget. Call us at 317-991-4660 or visit us online at interiorconstruct.com. Interior Construction Services. Progressive, productive, professional.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 back at $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing, and electrical done right. Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
Did you know that there are 21,000 chimney fires annually? It's one of the reasons why it's so important to have a CSIA certified chimney technician clean and inspect your chimney every year. Keep your family safe by joining our 3-year sweep and inspection plan. And mention Todd to be entered to win $1,000 in cash. Contact Smalling Masonry, a Christian-owned business, at 317-903-8121 to learn more today.
Folks, that's all the time that I have today, but I will say this in the concluding moments here today. Truth matters, right? People keep saying that the Republicans, Trump, conservatives want to overturn the will of the people overturned the election results. That's simply not an accurate depiction of what's going on. We want the correct election results to be calculated and tabulated and voted upon by the electors. And that's what we have to make sure happens. And so that's why this pressure and so forth is being placed on Pence. I got to go. Thanks for listening. SDGC tomorrow. Take care.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.